Pablo Escobar, the complete story of the most powerful drug lord in history. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1st, 1949, in Rio Negro, Antioquia, Colombia. He was the third of 7 children of Abel de Jesus Escobar, a farmer, and Hermilda Gaviria, a schoolteacher. The family moved to Envigado, a suburb of Medellin, when Escobar was young. From an early age, Escobar displayed an unusual ambition for money and power. Despite growing up in a humble family, his mindset was always focused on becoming rich at any cost. It is said that as a teenager, Pablo Escobar began engaging in crime. His first illegal business was stealing tombstones from cemeteries to resell them to smugglers and gemstone traffickers. He also participated in car theft, minor frauds, and cigarette smuggling. However, it was in the 1970s that Escobar found the real gold mine: cocaine, the beginning of drug trafficking. In the early 1970s, Escobar started working with marijuana traffickers in Colombia. However, he soon realized that cocaine had a much more lucrative market in the United States, where demand for the drug was booming. At that time, cocaine production in Colombia was still not fully developed, so Escobar traveled to Peru and Bolivia to buy coca paste and then processed it in clandestine laboratories in the Colombian jungle. Through smuggling routes, the drug was transported to Miami and other U.S. cities, where consumers were willing to pay large sums for it. Little by little, Escobar consolidated his power in the drug trade and eliminated several competitors through assassinations and extortion. With full control over Medellin's drug trade, he founded the Medellin Cartel, an organization that became the world's largest exporter of cocaine. The Medellin Cartel, the cocaine empire. During the 1980s, the Medellin Cartel reached its peak. It is estimated that, at its height, Escobar and his cartel controlled around 80% of the cocaine entering the United States. Their operations generated astronomical profits. They shipped approximately 15 tons of cocaine per day to the U.S. They earned around $420 million per week. It is estimated that Escobar's personal fortune reached $30 billion, making him one of the richest men in the world. The Medellin cartel used various strategies to smuggle the drug: small planes and private jets that landed on clandestine airstrips, speedboats that transported cocaine from Colombia to the Florida coast, homemade submarines to avoid detection by the U.S. Coast Guard, even infiltrating drugs into commercial aircraft tires. To manage so much money, Escobar needed places to hide it. It is said that he had so many stacks of cash that he lost millions of dollars each year because rats ate the bundles of money he kept in makeshift hiding spots. Escobar's humanitarian side. Although he was a ruthless drug lord, Escobar also cared about his public image. In Medellin, he built entire neighborhoods for the poor, created soccer fields, hospitals, and even a mini-city called Medellin without slums, where he housed low-income families. Because of this, many people in the poorest neighborhoods considered him a hero, calling him the Robin Hood of Medellin. By the late 1970s, Escobar was already an extremely powerful man, but his ambition knew no bounds. He wanted to be more than a drug lord. He wanted to be a political leader, entering politics and declaring war on the government. In 1982, Pablo Escobar ran for a seat in Colombia's House of Representatives and won a substitute position. This gave him political immunity and helped improve his reputation. However, his political career was short-lived. Justice Minister Rodrigo Lara Bonilla publicly exposed Escobar's ties to drug trafficking, which led to his expulsion from Congress in 1983. This marked the beginning of Escobar's war against the Colombian government. In retaliation, he ordered the assassination of Lara Bonilla in 1984. After his death, the Colombian government began cooperating with the United States to extradite drug traffickers, sparking a wave of violence across the country. Escobar declared war on the government and used terrorist tactics never before seen in Colombia. Among his most brutal attacks were the Avianca Flight 203 bombing, 1989. A bomb killed 110 people because Escobar believed that presidential candidate Cesar Gaviria was on board. He was not. The DS bombing, 1989. A car bomb exploded at the headquarters of Colombia's Administrative Department of Security, killing more than 60 people. The Palace of Justice attack. 1985 Escobar financed the guerrilla group M19 to storm the building and destroy judicial records related to his cartel. More than 90 people died, including Supreme Court justices. La Catedral. Escobar's luxury prison and his escape. In 1991, to avoid extradition to the U.S., Escobar negotiated his surrender with the Colombian government. As part of the deal, he built his own prison, known as La Catedral, which was more like a luxury resort with a swimming pool, nightclub, and soccer field. From there, he continued running the Medellin cartel with complete freedom. However, when the government discovered that Escobar was still conducting criminal activities from prison, they attempted to transfer him to a real prison. Escobar escaped in 1992, triggering one of the largest manhunts in history, the death of Pablo Escobar. After his escape, the United States and Colombia formed the Search Bloc, an elite police unit supported by the CIA and DEA. Additionally, a paramilitary group called Los Peeps, persecuted by Pablo Escobar, made up of former associates and enemies of Escobar, began killing many of his allies and family members. On December 2, 1993, authorities finally located him in a house in the Los Olivos neighborhood of Medellin. While attempting to escape across the rooftops, he was shot dead by police. The image of his lifeless body on a rooftop became one of the most iconic photos in Colombia's history. Pablo Escobar's legacy. Escobar left a country in chaos, with thousands of deaths and a drug trade stronger than ever. Although his cartel disbanded after his death, the drug business in Colombia continued to evolve, with the Cali and Norte del Valle cartels taking control. For some, he is still remembered as a benefactor of the poor. For most, he was responsible for one of the most violent periods in Colombian history. His life has inspired numerous books, TV series, and movies, including Narcos, which popularized his story worldwide. Pablo Escobar was, without a doubt, one of the most influential and feared criminals of the 20th century.